Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Season 5 Reloaded update had a lot of weapon tuning in it, right? We've talked about some of the top tier loadouts to be using after the update, but today I want to break down the niche of the new close range meta because we did see some pretty significant changes to what is the best from MW, Cold War, and Vanguard now. And we're starting first with MW. Admittedly, the close range meta is still predominantly, ran by the Vanguard guns. It's kind of the opposite for the long range meta, which we'll be getting to in the next few days. But for close range, starting with MW here, I feel like the one and only true choice here is the CX9. Now, the, Bison, the MP5, they're decent for sure. The MP7, the AUG could even have some arguments made for them. But to me, the CX9 is the true close range meta of MW guns in Warzone right now. Good control, good damage, good mobility for an MW gun. It's very well built all around. First up here, we're going for the monolithic suppressor. Gives us a slightly better damage range, which is always useful, and we get some better suppression off that as well. We get to stay off the map. I go for the 5 milliwatt laser here, better sprint to fire, better hip fire, and that's very accurate on this gun. We got to go for the 50 round drums. Fire rate's decent, so this extended mag here definitely comes in clutch, and when you pair that with sleight of hand, you get a crazy fast reload, so that is solid. And then lastly, I go for the FR stock. This is like the remove stock, basically better movement speed all around. Ideally try and keep up with some of the Vanguard subs. Very fun setup here, newly buffed as well with the Season 5 Reloaded updates, so well worth trying out. Now, as for the Cold War close range meta, I think we got two weapons, the first of which is the MP5. This is the better of the two MP5s in the game, in my opinion. The MW one has ridiculous hip fire, this one not as good, but overall damage and what it's meant for close range, this to me is the better of the two choices for sure. So in this case, we got the sound suppressor, and this setup is actually somewhat similar to the CX9 there. We don't need agency in this case. It's very minimal pros there in all reality, so no need for that. I don't use a barrel here either. Task Force would be the only good one, but it hurts your control a ton, and the control in the MP5 is not great. Instead, I go for the Tiger Team Spotlight. I got the 50 round drum on there. I'm also going to go ahead and run the Raider stock, and then lastly, I like to go for the Serpent Wrap, or if you want to be super speedy, go for the Bruiser Grip instead of the Serpent Wrap, and you'll have great movement speed for a Cold War sub. Either of these setups work. This one's a little bit more snappy and has a great TTK up close. I also think the OTS has a place in the Cold War close range meta. Again, it's got that great damage and pretty fast mobility for a non-Vanguard sub, so it's very similar to the MP5 in a lot of ways, but we get to use a more standard setup here. In this case, I will go for the combination of GRU and Task Force. You could always go for the basic sound suppressor too if you wanted to here. The difference isn't huge, but we'll take any extra potential range we could for that initial damage drop off. I also got the Tiger Team Spotlight here yet again. I'm going to go ahead and run the 40 round fast mag here because the ADS slowdown really is not too bad. Then lastly, I'd go for Bruiser once more. So this one is as fast as it can get and has decent range for a non-Vanguard sub, and overall just it can compete relatively well. Now, before we focus on the Vanguard subs, for the Vanguard close range meta, there are a couple of rifles that I feel like fit into the close range meta for Vanguard. This is a little bit more of a gray area because these are also really good for mid-range, but they're the aggressive rifles that we have that can easily outgun other SMGs given the opportunity. So the Cooper is one of them for sure. I mean, this thing is a beast for close range gunfights. Here we're going to end up going for the MX silencer. Also, you might not think you'd want the largest barrel for a close range build, but it works here because it doesn't really hurt your mobility all that much, so you can run that absolutely. Either a basic slate reflector here or the 2.5 times will work well. Slate is obviously the best for close range. 2.5 though, at least on PC, that zoom is not too much to overlook in close range fights. It doesn't zoom in too much, so it works just fine for me. I go for the skeletal stock, makes it nice and aggressive and agile. Skeletal underbarrel as well is going to do more of the same, as will taped grip. The recoil is so easy, you don't really have to worry about any of that. I got the 9mm 60 on there. I'm going to go ahead and either run frangible or lengthened here, really. I don't think you need some sonic, obviously, because we already got the suppressor on there, so either of those will work well. For mid-range, lengthened will be the most ideal. Perk 1, we got tight grip, and then perk 2, I'm going to go for on hand for that faster ADS. This thing is one of the most aggressive rifle builds in the game and can absolutely be used up close. And same deal with the Nikita as well. This one even has a better TTK than the Cooper in a lot of situations. A little bit heavier, but for close range gunfights, this is also a great aggressive choice here. Obviously, not the mobility of a sub, but the power there for close range is absolutely spicy. Again, we got MX here. We know we have 3 barrels that basically do the same thing: 613 sniper and precision. Sniper is going to be the lightest, 613 will be the heaviest, and you're not really losing that much mobility on 613, so I feel like you can use that just fine. Again, 2.5 or the slate reflector, totally comes down to preference there. I end up going for the folding stock here. Better movement, again, just makes it even more aggressive. In this case, I am going to run Carver just for some recoil control here. This thing's a little bit more recoil based than the Cooper is, so you just want to maintain that. We got the 60 round mag here for the better control. I got lengthened on here yet again. You could either go for hatched or taped here. Hatched is going to make it the easiest to use though, and truly it's not the slowest thing. I'm also going to go for brace, get you some initial control there. Then perk 2, again, I got on hand for that faster ADS, so we definitely have some rifles falling into that close range meta. But moving into the true close range meta for Vanguard here, the subs obviously dominate up close right now. And by the way, if you guys are new to the channel, every day, if you're looking for news, updates, loadouts, and or tips, I got you covered most of the days, twice daily. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you guys enjoy this video, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help grow the channel. But the Armaguerra, great choice for the close range meta right now. Got a slight nerf with season 5 reloaded, still feeling super strong and very agile as well. So here we got the recoil booster, we got the short barrel. I'm also going to run the slate reflector here. I still like the strafe build, honestly, with a skeletal stock, the aim walking movement speed. It's just such a fun build to use. We got the compact underbarrel because again, that's going to help out with that movement speed. 64 round drum. I go back and forth between this and the 55 a lot. This one is slightly harder to use with the recoil, but it has a better TTK, so I'll opt for that. We got some Sonic here to stay off the map. We got Grooved, again, for that strafe build. Perk 1, we're going to go for sleight of hand, and then perk 2, we go for quick, nice and agile, very aggressive setup. The PPSH, despite the nerfs, also still falls in the close range meta. The thing is still super easy to use, mad aggressive, and truly, its TTK didn't suffer all that much with the nerfs of Season 5 Reloaded. So here again, we got the recoil booster. I like the strafe build here as well, honestly, although as we've talked about many times, every single one of these barrels is still viable and still competitive. I gotta run the slate reflector. The iron sights with this build in particular just feel a little bit awkward, so I go for that. Remove stock will give you that best movement and that best sprint to fire. I don't go for the strafe stock, just in this case particularly. Compact underbarrel for the better strafe. Nambu 64, even despite the nerf, is still feeling great. Subsonic, I got Grooved here. You could also go for taped though. Both of those will work just fine. Perk 1, I got Fleet, then perk 2, quick per usual. The deadly duo for mobility on the Vanguard subs, feeling great still. An obvious choice right now, the MP40 got a slight buff with season 5 reloaded, while a lot of the other main meta subs got nerfs, so this one is really contending for that top spot right now. Super easy to use, very straightforward, and has been for quite some time. Here we got the recoil booster, the short barrel, this slate reflector yet again, going for the folding stock for the better sprint to fire and movement speed. I got skeletal here for the better ADS movement speed. Garanko 45, subsonic yet again. Rear grip going for taped for the better swap, better just general movement speed. I got perfectionist for the better control, makes it super easy to shoot, and then quick again for that better sprint speed, so you can fly and fry. The Blixen didn't really see anything too severe nerfed with it with the season 5 reloaded update. Multiplier got a slight change, but it still is going to be a very reliable choice all around. And especially with the damage build here, the recoil booster and the RMK barrel, it's still got one of the top TTKs out of all the subs in the game right now. So definitely a great choice for the close range meta. Slate reflector on there as well. We got remove stock for the best mobility. Per usual, we got fleet, we got quick on there for our perks. Rear grip, once again, I am going to go for taped for all the previous reasons on all the other subs as well. We got Garanko, we got subsonic, and then really for the underbarrel, you can go a bunch of different routes. You can go skeletal, pistol grip, you could do steady if you like to hip fire more, or compact for the strafe build. Totally comes down to your preference. We'll go for skeletal right now for that faster ADS. All those do really work well though. And then lastly, I got the Marco. This thing just has that great combination of basically no recoil with the 342 barrel here, which is what I like to run, but also great mobility with basically everything else that we are going to throw on here. So we got the recoil booster, we got the slate reflector yet again. We're going for the FR stock, better movement speed, so getting that back already also helps out with the control and the ADS as well. I got skeletal, better movement speed, better ADS. The 64 on drums, super easy to shoot. Subsonic yet again. Taped for again better movement. Perk 1, we're going to end up going for gung ho, so we can fireball sprinting, makes that transition of hip fire to ADS super easy, and quick on there as well, so we can continue to fly when we are sprinting. So all around a great setup. And frankly, the close range meta right now, super competitive. You know, you also got things like the RA225 that are solid, the Type 100, the Sten that are all right there as well. So you got plenty of choices right now. But that's gonna wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, or if you found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on the road to 1 million. But until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.